And it's a pleasure to be back. It's been a while since we graced the FD Arena in Leeds, and I've missed it. And I think you've all missed it, and I think Sky have missed it. And now we have a real night for fight fans on April the 16th at the FD Arena. A packed card, and many fighters that are on the card not here today. Callum Johnson in a big title fight, Martin Ward defending his WBC international title. And I'll tell you, three gentlemen on this table who really epitomise the word warrior. As a promoter, sometimes it can get quite frustrating. You're trying to make fights, and you know, the teams and the trainers and the managers, they don't like him, they don't like him. With these three, you can basically send them whoever you want, and you'll get the answer, yeah, he'll do. And that's really the case with Dave Ryan, Stuart Hall, and Josh Warrington. These two to my right have what can only be described as career-defining fights on April the 16th. Firstly, to talk about Dave Ryan, a guy who we've seen have a number of wars with John Wayne Hibbert. You know, although John Wayne Hibbert is a friend of mine as well, we all know he was very lucky to get the decision through Dave's injury at the O2 for the Commonwealth Light Welterweight title. Dave is now mandatory for that title. He certainly wants a rematch, he certainly wants that belt again. And his story is fascinating because he's come from the smaller shows. Clinton's done a fantastic job with him. And now he's talking about beating Renaud Garrido, who incidentally we've seen a number of times on Sky. Lastly, beating Bradley Saunders, a very tough fight. Wants to fight for the Commonwealth title, European title, and also try and move to get a shot at the world title. Stuart Hall actually won the world title at the FD Arena in Leeds, if I'm right, in a great fight with Vusi Malinga. Now has a much tougher fight than Vusi Malinga, I believe, in Rodrigo Guerrero, the former world champion, in a final eliminator for the IBF bantamweight title. Go on and fight Lee Haskins for that title, a man who he's fought before, if he can beat Guerrero on the night. And of course your very own Josh Warrington, who has an absolute war against Hisashi Amagasa. This fight has gone down incredibly well in the boxing fraternity. I think we're very lucky to have huge support and passion in Leeds that, quite frankly, they'll turn up to watch him fight anyone. But the good news about Josh Warrington is he doesn't want to fight anyone. He wants to develop, he wants to give fans value for money, and he wants to improve as a fighter, prepare him for those big fights. One fight in particular that we all desperately want, and negotiations and discussions are already underway, is the fight with Lee Selby for the IBF featherweight title. It's a huge British fight. Ellen Road is the obvious choice. Headingley as well is also considered. And that's a fight that I believe is a hell of a lot closer than some people say it is. I think you get Lee Selby up to Leeds in front of 40,000. This is going to be an interesting night of boxing. No doubt about that. Two great fighters. But first he's got to get through Hisashi Amagasa. I think probably nearly 6 foot, Amagasa. I hope he is, because I've told quite a few reporters he's 6'4". Sounds like a good story. A fantastic fight with Guillermo Rigondeaux. Had him over twice in that fight, and of course suffered an eye injury which eventually led to him being stopped, I think, just before the 12th round. Big puncher, but coming out of Japan for the first time. And all these fighters who come to the Leeds Arena tell me, no, I've seen it on YouTube, I know what to expect. David Yelly said the same thing. Joel Brunker said the same thing. And when they walk out, it is one of the most spine-tingling experiences in sport. There is nothing quite like looking up at that middle tier and seeing 8, 9, 10,000 people just going absolutely nuts. We've said it 100 times. He's so lucky to have that kind of support, and you, the people, are so lucky that you've got a fighter that is good enough to carry the city forward in boxing, and someone that can go on and win world titles. So Dave, first for you, obviously would have been easy to come back with a nice little gimme fight, but you didn't want that, Clifton didn't want it, and Alfred the Lion, Renaud Garrido, the perfect fight for you, I think.
Yeah, definitely. He's game, he's a tough lad, he's going to come to win. But I don't believe he's got the tools to beat me. I do believe I'm going to stop him. I'm just looking forward to get back onto winning ways.
Obviously you saw Hibbert beat Tommy Martin recently, and it's obviously frustrating for you seeing that you performed. I think the performance of your career in that last fight boxed wonderfully well, different kind of fight to the ones we've seen before. But obviously, is that on the mind, Hibbert, or are you just looking for basically all the big fights now?
Yeah, to be fair, I'll fight Hibbert any day of the week. It's not on my mind as much as what people think it is. I mean, I'm just working my way back up. I just want the fights. I want to get a European title this year. That would be nice for me.
And obviously the turnaround, you've grafted away on the smaller shows and now really boxed at the O2 a couple of times and now in the Leeds Arena. I think you beat Tyrone Nursett, which was again one of your career best performances as well.
Yeah.
And a great atmosphere as well in the arena.
Yeah, I mean, I love fighting in Leeds. I've boxed there twice before, so this will be the third time at the arena. And it's brilliant. I mean, John Ponch brings a lot of fans. My wife's actually from Leeds as well, so we get a bit of fans from her side. So it is good. I mean, I love coming here. It's a good city, and I can't wait to fight.
Stuart, Rodrigo Guerrero, ordered by the IBF. Had a long negotiation period with them. Didn't quite fancy the trip to Mexico, so we got it in Leeds, and it's been a good stomping ground for you in the past.
Yeah, like I said, I just want to thank you yourself and Metro and Sky Sports for obviously getting the fight made. And my trainer's Paddy Lynch and Max McCracken are going to get me in mint shape for this fight. Like I said, I think it is a must-win fight. You could bring Rodrigo Guerrero over here and put us in a phone box, and I think he'd enjoy that. But tactics on the night is going to be crucial for me to win the fight, and use my boxing ability. But I love to fight, and I'm a strong bantamweight, very big bantamweight, and he's coming up from Superfly, so I think he'll feel my power on the night.
Tell us a little bit about Rodrigo for the people in this room. We know he's a former world champion at Superfly, but expecting just an all-action fight with him. Everyone says about the styles. When we announced the fight yesterday, everyone said that that's just going to be a war.
Yeah, well, he's a typical Mexican. He switches as well, but he just likes to plant his feet, and he likes to have a fight. He just likes to have a war, and everyone knows himself. I can fight, and I like to have a war. So it's going to be a great fight, and it's going to be a bad start.
And a wonderful opportunity, of course, in the division at the moment, which we see so many of these divisions now, which have a flourishing domestic divisions at world level. Of course, and bantamweight is a great example of that. Obviously, you're fighting to fight Lee Haskins, who you've shared a ring with before, and obviously Jamie McDonald as well. There's a chance potentially for a unification fight with him once you get through Guerrero and Haskins.
Yeah, believe it or not, me and Jamie, we were mates, and I think he's one of the top lads in boxing. But he says I'd love a rematch with him, and he'd love a rematch with me. But I've got to get in a position with the belt or something, because he's flying miles ahead of me at the minute. Good luck to him as well. But yeah, I need to take Rodrigo Guerrero, get a fight with Haskins, awkward fight, a great fighter. But I believe I was a baby when I fought him. If I can get past Guerrero, then I believe I've got the ability and the style to beat Haskins, and then hopefully get bigger fights.
Josh, obviously the fifth time now for you at the arena. I think it must feel like home. And tell me what goes through your head when you see the response on Twitter yesterday, where people are basically saying, "Wow, what a fight! This is one he could come unstuck in." Does that give you the motivation? Because it seems like you've spent your whole time proving people wrong and proving that you're not just a guy who's lucky enough to have a tremendous fan base, but you can really fight as well.
Yeah, well, it definitely feels like home because it's only 10 minutes away from my home, so it's good to get a fight like this and, like I say, have the response. I remember going back to when I first picked up Commonwealth title, then I'd come up against Rendell. It was too soon for me against Rendell. Then Lindsay would be too strong for me. Then I wasn't ready for European, and like I say, I'm forever trying to, prove the critics wrong, shall we say. Brunner being the last one, a lot of people saying I won't go past 5 rounds, and I think I shocked a lot of people there, pulling out, if I don't mind saying myself, a really good performance. And now we're talking about world titles. I mean, it's been over 2 years since I won that British title at Leeds Arena, and that's the goal now. And I've never been one of the fighters to, when I turned over saying I'm going to be a world champion, I've always just taken it every stage as it comes, and now the next progressive goal is a world title. And turn your phone off, mate, come on, have some respect. I'd love nothing more than to bring a world title back to, that's a right joke, not by the way. I'd love nothing more to bring a world title back to Leeds and fight someone like Amagasa, hopefully should give me a bit of credit. and I'll prove to a lot of people that I can go on and win a world title.
Obviously, the talk is, has been for some while talking about a potential Lee Selby fight for the IBF title, and you saw him obviously a great performance against Radovic, then boxing against Montiel. It's got quite a tough fight actually coming up in Eric Hunter, but that fight is definitely makeable, and it's a fight that I know their team would take. And just talking to you outside, look glint in your eye that you really fancy that fight.
100%, I fancy it, but it's boring me a little bit now because beforehand he wanted to go crack America and he wasn't interested. I wasn't big enough for him, and then he didn't box great against Montiel. Every fight was a bad night, but since that performance, he's come back shouting that he finally wants to fight and he wants to come to Leeds and chin me and this, that and other. I've been not very respectful towards Lee Selby. I've been patient, but it's getting a little bit tired now with the crap is coming out with talking about I'm looking at bigger things. He's looking too far ahead, in my opinion. He's forever talking about Leo Santa Cruz and the other champions of the division. Really needs to focus on fights. Who's in front of him? Eric Hunter is a dangerous fight. And if he goes over there, or if he fights over here against Eric Hunter again, and performs like he did against Montiel, then he might not keep champion. So he needs to focus on that. And I need to focus on my fight, and if he gets through that, then we can really start talking about the fight. I know people at Leeds would love to see it. Anywhere I go around Leeds, normally the first two things they say to me is, "How's it going, Josh?" and "When are you going to chin that lad from Wales?" So, I think people from all woodworks would come out to watch it, and it'd be a special occasion. But just keep on your world title firstly, and get through your next fight, and we can start talking before you keep on chopping some more.
Obviously, it would have been easy for you with the Selby fight on the horizon to have a warm-up fight or a gimme fight, but that's not really in you. And Amagasa, you've seen, and I'm sure you've watched with your dad as well. And a tough fight, very tall. How are you expecting that fight to map out?
It's not going to be an easy fight. Like I say, he's got a bit of height, he's got a bit of power, 20 KOs out of 30 wins, he knows how to put people away. And he just keeps on coming, as you've seen with Rigondo. He took some punishment off Rigondo, but he never stops coming. And we might have a fist, I don't know how I'm going to keep him off, but listen, this is the fight what I need to show people that I can go to the next level. I want to, if we move on to Ellen Road, I want to get a full house, and I want to get like the critics, because a lot of their critics, just because I'm from Leeds, but I want to try and get them on board, and a lot of them are saying this is a tough fight for you. If you can come through this, then you're looking at Lee Selby and Josh Warrington as a 50-50, so we'll have a game plan. I'll leave that to my dad and team, and you'll see on April 16th that pull out another good performance and march on together.
We can't wait for that atmosphere, the music. Last time we stopped the beers 15 minutes before walk-on. It was one of the best things we've ever done, because everyone went down to pick up their beers to throw it in the air and realised they'd already drunk it. So we'll be doing that again this time, but we can't wait to see you at the arena on April 16th. This young man, I've got to say, is a pleasure to deal with, and also his dad and Nick and Steve Wood, because they're real fighters, and the plan of action they've had throughout their career has been absolutely spot on. The development, he gets a lot of stick for some unknown reason, probably like you say, just because you're from Leeds. And people turn on the TV and see all these people going nuts in the arena. But yes, that's right. And he deserves it, because actually, when you look at his resume and the people that he's boxed, I think the victory against Amagasa, when that's over, that's as credible as Lee Selby's record for sure. And I think that's a 50-50 fight, I really do. So I really want to make that fight badly. I think it's a huge event for the city of Leeds. And like I said, both got really tough fights coming up, but we thank you for your support. We can't wait to see you on the April 16th. It's going to be a great night, some real 50-50 fights, some great championship boxing. And like Josh says, let's march on together to this world title fight in the summer. Thank you very much, all the guys here available for one-on-ones. We'll see you soon. Thank you.